Nature, in fashioning and animating any specific animal, prepares it for a special round of actions, such as, at once or by stages, its organs and impulses will tend to perform. Nature thus supplies that creature with an innate program of life, abstract and unconscious, but apt to become decidedly concrete whenever a suitable opportunity offers. And such an opportunity, in general, must be generously provided, for nobody would have eyes if light did not often flood the earth, and were not usefully reflected from objects according to their position and physical texture. Nor would sexual aptitudes and passion persist in us if our ancestors, for endless generations, did not possess them to good purpose. Nevertheless, rain does not always fall when the grass thirsts for it, and nature has not prearranged an exact distribution of opportunities to meet the bright moments of the will, or a succor to prevent its extinction. In other words, the exuberant radiation of matter into every possible trope, species, and novelty prevents any exact harmony from ever being established among its endeavors. Every form of will realized insists on maintaining its ascendancy and of extending it, if possible. It cannot succeed in this perfectly, but it clings to what it can achieve without any mercy for the defeats which it may be inflicting on its competitors. A fable may perhaps exhibit this predicament better than an argument. Imagine a model gamekeeper guarding the partridges in a park. The barbed wire around their special preserves will always be in good order. Live wires and traps will intercept all poachers, stray dogs, and foxes in their wicked incursions. Nor will there be any overcrowding or too numerous bereavements in the partridge family itself. Yet all these undoubted benefits begin to seem ambiguous when the shooting season approaches. 3 parties are formed among the partridges: the conservative party, composed chiefly of parents and old residents, who aver that shooting has always prevailed in this world, and that before there were barbed wires and keepers, it was far worse and went on all year round. The radicals, or the Republican party, on the contrary, cried sharply that they were all victims of tyranny, gay and fattened for the slaughter, and that they were preparing to peck the keeper's eyes out and fly for freedom into the woods. A third, or Liberal party, pointed out that a distinction should be made. The keeper was a good man. The real tyrant, who kept them only to shoot and eat them, was the landlord. They must wait until the keeper and his friends had made a revolution and expelled the landlord, so that henceforth partridges and good men would possess the land together in perfect friendship. Rumors of these ascensions reached the landlord at the manse, and one fresh dewy morning, after a hearty breakfast, he came down in gaiters and a sporting jacket and broad-brimmed hat, but with only a heavy stick in his hand, to have a word with those silly birds. "What is this?" he said gruffly, but with a humorous undertone, as if he brought something good for them hidden in his pocket. "What is this that I hear you are cawing and croaking and crowing among yourselves about politics? Do you say that the keeper is a friend of yours, because he keeps off the poachers, but that I, who give you board and lodging gratis all year round, am your enemy, because I only do it in order to shoot you and eat you up at the end? What a mistake! You talk about the end, when none of us can know what it will be, and do not consider the beginning, which is the source of everything, and perfectly well known. How can I be your enemy, when but for me, and my love of partridges, you never would have existed? Had I not bought this land, which was an unfenced waste moor, and closed it, cleared away all that could be a nuisance to partridges, and planted these lovely thickets and delicious coverts, and bought 2 or 3 pairs of prize birds, your ancestors, and let them multiply here and feed your years unmolested on the fat of the land, where would you all be today? Nowhere. And when you were becoming too numerous and quarreled among yourselves, was it not for your good that a few, not all of you, should meet a sudden and painless death, and that just as the season when perhaps old age and certainly the desolate winter was upon you? And were you not always especially protected and fed at the breeding season, about which you rightly care so much? Indeed, that is the point in which you seem to approach the just feelings of a Christian and an Englishman. Whom should you love and honor more than one who has been the cause of your existence, and has heaped on you all the blessings of this life, which, for all of us, at best, must be short and somewhat checkered? If, having considered all these things, you still call me a tyrant, I must say, I am sorry for you. Before long, you will be caught blaspheming against your Creator. Without venturing to approve or condemn the order of nature on moral grounds, which I think would be impertinent, I seem to see a logical flaw in the sportsman's apology. Nobody can ask for existence before he has it. He therefore need not regard it a priori as a favor. No doubt, existence compels him to wish to keep it, because it is essentially a repulsive movement. But this wish in itself is so far from a good that the most venerable of philosophies, the Indian, regards it as the source of all evil. The landlord breeds his partridges for his own use and pleasure. In respect to them, he is a foreign militant power exercising a domination, partly protective and partly fatal, as do many civilized governments over their possessions. The hardy sportsman's interest in this affair illustrates the intrinsic value that management may have as an art in both breeding and shooting, and then eating the birds. The primitive impulse to hunt for food has, in the country gentleman, been almost lost in the sport of shooting, and the vanity of supplying a good morsel for his table or for his friends. Advantages of this kind, which an autocrat may secure by the exercise of his power, are not to be counted among the strictly political merits of a government. They are only its sweets. The public could hardly be expected to consider them benefits conferred on themselves. Yet sports are surely a benefit to mankind, that needs to play and to be entertained by spectacles, and even partridges are now set to the community, not only to be shot and eaten by the few, but to introduce a little festive variety for those who pluck, cook, and serve them. How far the partridges, if they knew how useful they are in these ways, would be reconciled to their fate, or would die happy, thinking how superior their life in a private preserve had been to that of uncivilized birds, and how much nobler in a dish of partridges than a boiled fowl from a barnyard, I cannot tell. But there is an unintended heroism woven in the texture of life, which sometimes breaks out in morals, to the surprise of rationalists, for this vital heroism is not militant like rationalistic politics, but obedient to spontaneous impulse, as in the other animals. Only that man has outdone the sagacity of the others in finding rational means to irrational ends. But this eager use of reason in incidental tasks sharpens and strengthens reason in some methods and insights, until some day he becomes aware that, by thus rationalizing and complicating the irrational, reason increases distraction for the spirit, and swells the intermittent burdens of life into a petrifying tyranny, so that in the end, what reason can best do is to disinfect the existence, as far as possible, of illusion, pride, and wanton militancy, and for the rest, to accept the natural diversity and inconstancy of will, only moderating its fury as can be done by fostering in due separation or harmony all possible contrasting virtues, which never would hate one another morally, if they never conflicted materially.